What's going on today, Gacha Gang? Kawaii50 here with another FGO video, here to talk about those ushers into the afterlife, the Valkyries. We're going to dive right into this video, talk about what makes the Valkyries pretty much the best Lancer to come out this year. But just a quick reminder, if this video helps you out, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, click the bell. All of those things really do help me out in the face of YouTube's very unforgiving algorithm. So our Valkyries come with a quick Arts Buster deck, as well as a quick type Noble Phantasm. These quick cards actually hit 3 times each, and her star generation per hit is a solid 12%. So you're actually going to be getting some pretty solid stars off of Valkyrie's quick type attacks. Maybe not nearly as much as an assassin, but that's no big deal. Everybody's got their niche. As far as HP and attack goes, Valkyrie's HP is really on the higher end, maxing at 14,025. As far as that attack goes, 8,037 doesn't really seem like much, but remember that Lancers do get a passive attack bonus, so it's actually going to act a little bit higher than that. Keep it in mind. Valkyrie's damage is actually going to be further helped by her class skills, the big hitter here being Divinity Rank A, which gives an additional 200 damage on top of every single card Valkyrie uses. Now, I've had some challenge quests where that Divinity boost has really helped dealing extra damage, especially when the enemy stacks a bunch of defensive buffs on themselves, so Valkyrie is going to be very useful in that regard. Taking a look at the Valkyrie's skills, Primordial Rune Valkyrie is incredible. It increases Valkyrie's quick card effectiveness by 20 to 30% and her NP strength by an additional 10 to 20%. For 3 turns on both of those, and when it's completely maxed out, you've got a only 6 turn cooldown to deal with. Really, this skill is Valkyrie's bread and butter. You're going to use it with her Noble Phantasm. You're going to use it with her following quick chains. This is her primary source of damage. So definitely make sure you max this skill first. And we're actually going to want to max it in tandem with her third skill, which we'll get to in just a second. Now, Valkyrie's second skill is her main defensive booster, and that is Swan Mystic Code Rank A. This gives her 1 evade over the course of 3 turns. It also applies debuff immunity 1 time for 3 turns, and more importantly, it applies damage cut 3 times for 3 turns, and this reduces the damage by 500 to 1,000 depending on the level of this skill. This skill also featuring a 6-turn cooldown at max level. Now, damage cut, I feel, is a supremely underrated ability. This ability is really evident on servants like Asagami Fujino, like Emiya Alter. These characters' damage cut, when leveled up fully, can help them survive even the most devastating blows, considering it's just straight up a flat reduction. We're still going to level this last, though. Even though the damage cut boost is a nice bonus, we don't get any bonuses to the evade or the debuff immunity, which makes this skill the lowest priority. And finally, Valkyrie's third skill is her greatest utility skill, that is Fate Weaver Rank B. This increases Valkyrie's NP gauge every turn by 5 to 10%, recovers 500 to 1000 HP every turn, and grants 5 to 10 critical stars every single turn. All of these last for 3 turns, and when maxed out, this is going to be on a 7-turn cooldown. The NP region is actually incredible. It's going to allow Valkyrie to use her Noble Phantasm faster than most, and when paired correctly with, say, a quick arts chain, you can actually have potential to use Valkyrie's Noble Phantasms very soon in quick succession. As always, critical stars attached to a skill, especially when it comes to star region as opposed to star gain, is an absolutely nice touch. At rank 7 of this skill, actually rank 6 of this skill, you're going to have the equivalent of a fragment of 2030 on Valkyrie for 3 turns. A lot of people recommend leveling this in tandem with her first skill, and I absolutely agree. The utility this provides is just undeniable. It's an incredibly powerful skill. And of course, we've got to talk about Valkyrie's noble phantasm, which is Ragnarok Leifthrassir, which I only know how to pronounce thanks to the Odin Sphere games, so thank you, Odin Sphere. This applies sure hit to Valkyrie for 1 turn, and most importantly, that activates first, which is fantastic, and it deals between 600 to 1000% damage to all enemies. This does have a bonus effect on overcharge as well, having a 50 to 100% chance to inflict death on demonic enemies. So if you're farming hearts, Valkyrie might be your go-to when it comes to farming that. I will say, in regards to this Noble Phantasm, the damage boost is most significant between NP1 and NP2, so if you really want Valkyrie on your team, if you want to use Valkyrie as your main Lancer, I would recommend bare minimum you try to go for NP2. That's going to be the most significant damage boost possible. So as far as our allies for Valkyrie goes, we really want to give her characters, more importantly than anything else, that will increase her Noble Phantasm gauge. This is mainly to reduce the margin of error that we might have from not drawing the correct cards, and to make it so she can loop her Noble Phantasm effectively when it comes to both farming as well as general challenge quest battles. So a lot of people will obviously recommend Skahawk Scotty. She is the best quick support character in the game, coming out on NA very, very soon. And Double Scotty is the premier support for Valkyrie, even on JP to this day. However, if you yourself are lacking a Scotty, if you have to resort to using just a friend's Skahawk Scotty, there are a couple of other characters you can of course include with Valkyrie. Valkyrie does have 2 Buster cards in her arsenal, so she can still benefit from using Merlin in some small way. Merlin is going to help provide additional survivability and also increase her Buster card effectiveness on those 2 cards. Now, as far as other servants on NA goes, I definitely will have to also recommend Osakabe Hime as well as Parvati. Osakabe Hime's Chiyogami technique ability will increase the Valkyrie's NP gauge, as well as increasing her critical star drop rate. Very, very important for a quick type character. Also, her Noble Phantasm will increase the quick card effectiveness of all allies for 3 turns while increasing their defense and maximum HP, both things that will help Valkyrie when it comes to survivability, especially considering Valkyrie already has a pretty massive HP pool. Now, as far as Parvati goes, her Noble Phantasm Trishula Shakti increases NP gauge on overcharge, so that's going to help Parvati if you're, say, in between Noble Phantasms. But more importantly, her Blessing of the Goddess skill not only increases an ally's Noble Phantasm gauge, but can heal them by 2,000 to 3,000 HP. So that, again, gonna help Valkyrie's survivability. And since she's also a Lancer, they're not going to be fighting for critical stars too much. Now, looking forward on JP, there are 3 additional servants I want to mention in this video that could be great allies for the Valkyrie. And we are, of course, going to start with Sirma Yi, a character I am super excited to eventually get because I am a 3 Kingdoms fanatic. Now, Sirma Yi has 2 skills that will really help out Valkyrie. Emperor's Command rank A will increase Valkyrie's Noble Phantasm gauge, but will also increase Valkyrie's attack by 20 to 40% for 3 turns. This is a massive, incredible boost and will definitely help Valkyrie's damage output overall. But Sirma Yi can also provide a sort of utility for Valkyrie in the form of Supreme Mystic Code Volumen Hydrogyrum rank B. That's right, that magnificent craft essence, she has it as a skill. It provides invincible to 1 ally 2 times over the course of 3 turns, and yeah, massive survivability for the Valkyrie. On top of that, she can also provide the Valkyrie with a sort of damage boost in the form of her Noble Phantasm Unspeakable Formation rank B++. It decreases the defense of all enemies for 3 turns by 30 to 50%. It's also going to decrease their critical rate, and more importantly, it applies Ignore class disadvantage when receiving damage to all allies for 3 turns. So if you're facing a group of enemies that maybe has a mix of sabers in there, well, Valkyrie is going to take less damage from those sabers. Truly fantastic skill. There is also a servant that can help Valkyrie by not only increasing that NP gauge, increasing that attack, granting critical stars per turn, but can also draw all damage towards herself, and that is Ganesha. Ganesha's first skill, Business Prosperity rank A, increases all allies' NP gauges by 10 to 20%, increases their attack by 10 to 20%, and grants them 5 stars per turn for 3 turns. That is granted to all allies, so that is going to grant you 15 critical stars per turn. Ganesha can also make an ally invincible and increase an ally's NP gain at the cost of skill ceiling. If your skills are on cooldown already, that is no big deal. And Ganesha's Broken Tusk skill can apply target focus to Ganesha while also applying a damage cut. Ganesha's Noble Phantasm as well can decrease defense to all enemies, deal damage to them, and apply invincible on Ganesha. So use that in combination with her second skill, and you've got a solid turn of tanking in the books. And finally, looking way far into the future, looking at the perfect son who released on JP recently, I want to talk about Voyager. Voyager can actually really help out Valkyrie when it comes to quick, despite the fact that Voyager is also a foreigner class quick type damage dealer. Voyager's second skill, Swing By rank A, can give Voyager an evade, increase Voyager's quick card effectiveness, but also, most importantly, will decrease the quick resist of a single enemy by 10 to 20% for 3 turns. Voyager also has a skill called Blessings from the End of the World, rank Cosmos, and this skill increases an ally's Star Gather by 300 to 600%, while also increasing their critical damage and critical rate resist. So you get a nice damage boost and a nice Star Gather boost for Valkyrie, which is great considering she is a Lancer class and they don't have the best Star Gather. And finally, Voyager's Noble Phantasm, Pale Blue Dot, rank B. In addition to dealing damage to all enemies with increased damage to Heaven trait enemies, this can also increase Valkyrie's Noble Phantasm gauge by 20%. This has the added bonus of increasing the NP gauge to pseudo-servant allies, which unfortunately Valkyrie is not, but a nice 20% NP gauge boost on top of some damage is a pretty good bonus if you ask me. Finally, I of course want to recommend craft essences for Valkyrie other than your typical Kaleidoscope, because of course she's going to use that for a nice little boost while farming. If you're looking to use Valkyrie for general purposes, I've got to say the best freebie craft essence you can give her is One Summer from the Fate Extra CCC event. This is going to provide Valkyrie with a quick card effectiveness boost, an NP strength boost, as well as a extra 50% to NP gauge at the start of battle if you limit broke this during the event. Really the best quick type craft essence in my opinion on NA right now. Freebie, that is, freebie. On top of that, if you're looking for other craft essences beyond that, I can definitely recommend Little Halloween Devil. This gives Valkyrie an increased NP gain to help with those NP loops, and on top of that, Valkyrie will get a boost to starting NP gauge as well. Now, if you're looking for the absolute best craft essence for Valkyrie, you're going to have to wait for it a little bit because that craft essence comes out during a Christmas event, and that is Christmas Locust. Christmas Locust grants quick card effectiveness plus 8%, NP gain plus 8%, as well as NP gauge plus 50%. Actually, wait. Hang on. This is literally the same as One Summer. So if you got One Summer, honestly, Valkyrie is set. Or you can use this if you didn't farm the Fate Extra CCC event. I don't know why you wouldn't have done that, but here's the option for you if you want it. Overall, Valkyrie made my best servants of 2020 list, which you can check out here on the channel after you're done with this video, for myriad reasons. To start with, Valkyrie, especially for a 4-star servant, has incredible survivability in the form of her evade, her damage cut, her ability to regain HP every turn, as well as her high HP pool at base. On top of that, she has incredible potential for damage. Her Lancer class really helps with that. She's got the ability to boost her quick cards and her NP strength, and she has an ability to gain critical stars every single turn. which, you know, doesn't just help Valkyrie, it helps every ally that is on the field while Valkyrie is on the field. And speaking of her Noble Phantasm, since we were just talking about her NP damage, she has the potential to loop it thanks to her solid deck with her 2 quick cards, her 1 arts card, and on top of that, Scotty is on the way as well. So she's going to be able to help Valkyrie become one of your premier farmers, like so many quick type servants have become on JP. Valkyrie overall just absolutely amazing. If you really need a Lancer for any reason in your Chaldea, Valkyrie is 100% worth going for. But I of course want to know what you all think, so go ahead and let me know down in the comments what you might personally think of Valkyrie. Have you summoned for her? Which form of Valkyrie are you using? Because of course there are 3 different Valkyries depending on which Ascension art you decide to use. And let me know who you might have pulled alongside Valkyrie if you were summoning for her on the Sigurd banner. I tried to get Valkyrie myself, couldn't get her, ended up getting spooked by caster Anastasia instead, but I can't really feel bad about that. Still, kinda wish I had Valkyrie, but what are you gonna do? This is Kawaii50, hoping you all have a phenomenal day, and I will see you all in the next video.